After our first full season in charge of Hertha Berlin, we've bottled the league, losing out to Bayern Munich on the last day of the season. Now it's time for the season review and the transfers as we head into season 2 and hopefully we dethrone Bayern Munich. Hello and welcome to the channel. This is our FM22 Journeyman, where we're attempting to go from non-league football to winning the Champions League. We're here, as I said in the intro, with Hertha Berlin, and we are going to do the review of our first full season in charge. As FM22 is telling us, it was a relatively busy season in the transfer market. The team definitely needed a little bit of a rebuild when we got here, and we've gone about that as quickly as we could. We first off brought in Mancini, who ended up playing 32 games for the club, scoring 6 goals, getting an assist and an average rating of 7.29. We also brought in Freeman. The board still isn't happy with that because of the transfer fee, but I still think he's going to grow into a fantastic player. 31 appearances for us last season, 5 assists from midfield. It did cost us £52 million though, so he wasn't on the cheap side. Neither was Funk, who is now an elite fullback brought in from Stuttgart for £77 million. The board aren't entirely happy with that one either, but to that I say, look at the star rating on this boy. He is still got potential to grow a little bit yet. He is a world beater over on that right hand side. We then also brought in Edworthy. He is now 37 years old, but he didn't cost us any money at all. Obviously the most important thing with a goalkeeper to be looking at is this, which is 28 appearances, 22 conceded, 14 clean sheets, and an average rating of 704. I don't feel that tells the whole story though, if I'm honest, which is he could have done so much better than that if he hadn't spent the last 6 to 7 games of the season conceding goal after goal after goal, and that is very much part of why we ended up not winning the Bundesliga. Need to be changing that in the season ahead, I think. We've then got Johannoy, who came over from Barnsley. Of course, if you've watched this whole series, we did purchase him there, and now he's come over to Hertha Berlin, 13.75 million. I think for that money, he's actually being phenomenal. We ignore star rating completely with Johannoy. He has cost that amount of money, but he's had 17 appearances, 7 goals, and 5 assists, which I think is brilliant. Now he's only showing up as a 3-star ability. That does put him as a leading Bundesliga player, and he's obviously, of course, only 23 years old. So if we can keep hold of him, he can be around for seasons yet. He's going to be a very, very important player for us and has made himself a pretty nailed on starter. We then, in the January transfer window, bought in Michalenko. He cost us £59 million to be our first choice left back. He's only obviously made 13 appearances because of that, due to coming in later and then injuries, but he's got a 7.12 rating, so we're quite happy with that. We've then got Johnny White, our 20-year-old goalkeeper for Man City. Now he might be the answer to our goalkeeper problem that we kind of have, in that he is young enough to still progress and could come in and dethrone Mendy this season. 9 appearances, 7 conceded, 5 clean sheets and a 7.03 rating. When he has been in the side, he has been very, very good. Definitely one that we have to consider this season. We may need to be starting him in games rather than Mendy. We then brought in Silva as well. Silva, obviously our centre back. He only ended up playing 7 games. I'm still a little bit unsure about him because he has looked a bit frail, a bit dodgy, maybe a bit naive in that centre back position at times. Still need to make a decision on exactly what we're doing with him. Then got Diallo, who's 19. He's never ever going to be playing bags and bags of game because he is the deputy to Freeman in that position. He's looked okay when he's come in though. He's just 0.02 of a point away from a 7 rating when he has made appearances for the club. I think that's fairly alright for £7 million. We've also got Thierry Small, who is another left back brought in from Southampton. He's only made 10 appearances, 5 of which were off the bench. He's got a very, very good rating when he has come into the club though. I don't know if maybe we think about potentially getting rid of him this summer, just based on the fact we don't use him a lot. We've then got Renan obviously coming in from Celtic for £22 million. Now, Renan was meant to be eventually our first choice striker. I have noticed now he doesn't enjoy big matches, which might be part of the problem, but more so than anything, part of the problem is for a striker, 5 appearances, no goals at all isn't great, especially when you have a look at this. We are playing him as an advanced forward in that role. He has very, very good attributes in these 3 key areas. Doesn't seem to have the application to do anything with them at the moment, which is a tad concerning. And finally, we bought in Mickey van Saz from Lazio. He was only ever going to be a very much rotation if we need him goalkeeper, and he hasn't made any appearances, costing us £1.3 million. On the outside, we have had quite a lot as well. These are some of them. We had Castells go out, which was quite a big one. Some of these we hadn't used a lot. Schallenberg was quite a big one, as was Ray Bigger, which is why Uenoy came in. Egerstein was a fairly big one as well. Ozan Kabak and Cucurella, probably the 2 biggest losses for us, but I do feel like we've done a decent amount to replace them. We are saying, no, we had a season to remember. We've exceeded expectations. We were only expected to finish in a top 4 position. We've challenged for the title, only finishing 2 points behind eventual winners Bayern Munich. So I guess that is quite decent. Is a little worrying that we're not filling our ground up. Maybe we've got quite a big ground for Germany. I'm really not sure what the capacities are in Germany. But as we can see, there's not a huge amount of red in there. Really, on the grand scheme of things, it was just more towards the end of the season. DFB Pokal, of course, we got knocked out in the second round by Mönchengladbach when we were expected to reach the semi-final. Less said about that, the better. We really don't like Mönchengladbach. I don't know why. Our biggest win this season was a 13-0 win, which I think was the first game of the season and was on the channel. It was one we had to edit out. That was in the DFB Pokal. We also had our match to remember, which was a 6-0 win against rivals Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. And goal of the season was from Traore. We'll have a quick look at that one now. As it is the first goal in this match, it should be the first one that's going to show up as well, or is it going to show opposition goals first? I think it might be showing opposition goals first, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, look at us conceding some goals. How wonderful. We are going to eventually get this goal. Funk, look, just bringing the ball forward. It's a really good run by Funk here. Into Techahoa. Techahoa holding up the ball. Uenoy now to Funk. Techahoa again. Back out to Traore. It's an absolute screamer from outside the area, which I believe is what started bringing us back into the tie as well. So very much welcomed. Finances rise. We've said that the club's reputation hasn't changed over the past season. We're still a 4-star continental reputation at this club. What's a bit concerning for a club that's done relatively well this season is our annual revenue. The sponsorships down, the broadcast revenues down, corporate and hospitality, and the matchday commercial and retail. We have won fractionally, but really fractionally more competition prize money. We'll have a look at hopefully performing well with the Champions League and stuff this season, and maybe bringing some of those numbers up a little bit. Top shirt sales were Luka, Techahoa, Akahomak, Gomez and Traore. Gomez makes sense, but he didn't end up playing a lot. We've then got our lineup of the season, which is Mendy in goal, Cucurella, Delport, Mancini and Funk as our back 4, Freeman, Traore and Neuhaus in midfield, Cavarat and Techo on the wings with Luca up front. Accolades rise, we won no manager of the year, no manager of the month awards, which I find a little bit surprising because I do feel like we've done quite well this season. Club awards wise though, fans player of the season was Lorenzo Luca. Funk wins young player of the season. Johnny White is signing of the season, which is a little bit of a surprising one, but I'll allow it. We've then got goal of the season, as we just saw. Top goal scorer was Lorenzo Luca with 31 goals. Techahoa had the most assists with 13. Luca with the most player of the match awards and the highest average rating at 7.8. And then we've got most passes from Mancini. Record breakers, most overall goals by a player in in a season is Lorenzo Luca with 31 goals. He's also got the most league goals in a season because 29 of them were in the league. Obviously, the other 2 in the DFB Pokal, but again, we weren't in that very long. And then we've got Kavarat has the most goals by a player in a match with 4, and Tetra Hoa with the 13 assists, which is a record-breaking amount of assists. We've also passed some of the club vision early, as by the end of next season, we can see the board want us to be recognised as the best of the rest, and we've definitely done that by challenging for the title. Club and vision expectation meetings. Oh, I always love these. Right, play direct football. Can we get rid of that one now, please? And thank you. Want us to work within a rage budget. Blah, blah, blah. None of that's very interesting, to be honest. Basically, it's all very much qualify for the Champions League. So, no sort of mention, oh, they still want us to play direct football. We're not playing direct football. You're just going to have to like it. There's no mention then of us actually winning the Bundesliga, just finishing top 4 consistently. More important than any of this, of course, though, is we have got the transfer budget in, and it is £91 million, which should be more than enough to do what I think we need to do with the squad. Which, in all honesty, I don't think is a lot. I do think maybe we could either need to bring in a top-tier goalkeeper or just start playing Johnny White, and then Mendy and Van Saz can be his deputies. Mendy can play some of the bigger games, maybe originally like the Champions League and potentially a DFB Pokal, keep him happy, and Johnny White can start playing the league games. Defensively, we are super strong over on the right. We've got Funk and Valdez that can play there. I'm perfectly happy with either of them. Maybe we could do with a really good centre back, and if we could find a brilliant left back, I'd take that as well. In midfield, I'm perfectly happy with that. We are going to still be playing Traore, we're playing Uenoy, and we'll be playing Freeman, all of which I'm very happy with. And then looking forward in the final third of the pitch, we've got Kavarat over on the left. I do think he's going to need some sort of deputy, someone challenging him or someone overtaking him on that left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we've still got Tetra Hoa and Akahomak, both of who are absolutely fine there. And then up front, we've got Lorenzo Luca, who is brilliant. We've got Gomez, who can come in and do a job. I do feel like he might want to be moving on in the summer. Ranan is there if he can start scoring goals. And we have got Floriento Pena as well as a backup. If we can find a brilliant striker, we'll take it. So it's very much this summer, a goalkeeper, if a brilliant one pops up, a left back, a centre back, a left winger, and potentially a striker. We're not going to get all of those players. We have 90 million, not 90 billion, but we're going to go and do our best. And what we're going to do more than anything is try and build a squad that can prevent this happening again. I don't want to see another year of Bayern Munich doing the double. Let's go get the transfer sorted out and prevent that next season. Well, there are some awards still to come. Lorenzo Luca's won something. I'm genuinely not actually sure what it is he's won, but he's won something. If you happen to know what that is without me using Google Translate, please do let me know. He's come second in that. Uenoy here has got newcomer of the season with his 17 appearances, which is fantastic to see. We've actually got manager of the year, and I think rightly so. We've got a win ratio of 70%. Mönchengladbach manager Pirlo is right behind us, which is quite annoying because he's beaten us a few times. But yeah, we've still got something. Mancini is in the team of the year. The rest of it is very full of Bayern Munich players, and then Patson Daka up front. I still hate him. We seem to have got the same email twice here, which is a little bit interesting. Lafont has a bid made for him, but I don't think I want to bring him into the club anymore because he's basically exactly the same as Mendy, who we've already got. Oh, Sandro Tonali. I mean, I would love a bit of Sandro Tonali. I just think you might be asking for a tad too much wages for us, and that is very much the problem we do have. Is one, we don't have the reputation of some European teams, and two, we can't necessarily pay their wages either. Caro Tomori here, of course, he wants maybe up to £140,000 a week. I'd love to bring him in. But one, he's not that interested in joining us, and two, even if he is, I don't know we can actually pay him his wages. It could once again be quite a long summer. Okay, so we are back. It is the 1st of July and the transfer window has just officially opened, and we've spent a little bit of money. I'm going to run you through the transfers that we've made so far and just let you know a little bit what's going on with players potentially going out. So first up, we've signed Francisco Castillo. Castillo is a left back. He's come over from Liverpool. We've paid £39 million for him. He was the best of the options we could find at left back, and also he is classed as a wonder kid, and we love a good wonder kid over at Hertha Berlin. He's already a star player for his country, which is what? He's Chilean. But as we can see, I think the main attraction here for Castillo is his potential. He is going to be playing at the moment as second fiddle to Michaelenko over on that left-hand side, but we did say we need a left back, and why not buy a wonder kid? He's got plenty of time to grow into that role. He is only 20, so he'll be one definitely for the future. We've also further improved the left-hand side of that pitch by bringing in this guy, Razvan Budino? I guess it would be Budino, wouldn't it? He is Romanian. As we can see, as I mentioned, he plays on that left wing. He still can actually improve. He's already 4-star ability, and he could go up to 4.5. We brought him in from Crystal Palace, where he's been playing fairly well in the Premier League. 18 appearances, 2 goals, 4 assists last season for him. He did cost us £69 million, which is quite a lot of money. But again, he's another 23-year-old with, you know, room to improve. Why not bring him in? I don't know if he's a wonder kid as well. I haven't actually looked. He's an elite winger. We'll take elite winger. Elite winger is absolutely fine. His crossing is quite good. His dribbling is quite decent. And long term, he'll be the replacement to Kavarat over on that left-hand side. One, because I can pronounce his name fractionally better. Budino might take me a little while, but we'll get there. He's got a fairly professional personality, although we're not going to let him do any media, because apparently he's media friendly but volatile and confrontational. I'm not entirely sure what that means, how you can be both of those things. But I think probably he'll be our first choice left winger this season. His physicals are fantastic. He's got bags and bags of pace. He's going to be very, very good. Although he's already got 2 negative. What's his 2 negative? Recognises he may lack support as a result of not being part of any social group. You literally got here, quite literally, 1 minute ago. Has no strong feelings about the squad support for the manager. Well, we're firing him. And we've also signed a centre-back. We said we need another one of those as well, just to improve that a little bit, solidify that a little bit for next season. Maxence Lacroix has come in. We brought him in from PSG, and he's been doing absolutely brilliant at PSG. Now, I'm sure it's relatively easy in Ligue 1. Pretty much. Anyway, the French League isn't the best one in the world, but he has got a 7.54 rating last season, which was preceded by a 7.33, which was preceded by a 7.38, and you get the idea. He looks quite good. 3-star or not, leading Bundesliga. It puts him as the second fiddle to Del Port. The only bit of disappointing news with that is I think that means potentially he is now going to overtake Mancini there, and I do like Mancini, but Mancini is in his 30s. I think he's 31 now. It might be time he moves on. We've only played 1 this season with him. Where is Mancini, actually, if I have a look for him? There he is, found him. He works perfectly well as a centre-back and a defensive midfielder, so he'll be getting some games this season. But yeah, he's 33 now, so at some point he is going to want to, you know, not play anymore. It's probably not quite coming up, but we want a young, youthful squad. And if we do pick our best 11 at the moment, this is what it gives us, which is slightly concerning. Well, actually, probably not, because as I can see, it hasn't really registered that we've got the new players yet, potentially. No, it has. So it thinks that we shouldn't be making any... I don't know how much I trust my system manager. He's still saying pay Techahoa up front. Why would you do that over Lorenzo Luca? It's like the man hasn't seen us play football. Maybe it's time for me to get rid of the assistant manager. When is his contract up? There's the assistant manager then, David. I'm pretty sure that's probably not how you pronounce that if you are in Germany, but we're going to call him David nonetheless. And he looks quite good on paper. He just doesn't seem to actually understand that Techahoa, not so I'm going to play up front. Does have 2 years left on his contract though. It's probably not actually going anywhere soon. On the outside though, as you can see, the board are furious because we've sold Maxi Gomez, and my response to that is we were not looking great on finances, and Maxi Gomez was still annoyed that we didn't win the DFB Pokal, and at this point it's been like 6-7 months. I feel like it's time that you get over it. We have sold him for 12.5 million, which means we've made a very, very marginal loss on him. He only played 10 games last season. I mean, he's done quite well in his career with us. He's played, 21 games and scored 16 goals, which is really, really good. But we have Lorenzo Luca, and because of that, I don't feel like we really need Maxi Gomez. Catalan Stan has gone as well. We've made a tiny bit of profit on him, but really, really not a lot. We bought him for 1.6 million. We've ended up selling him for 3.5. He looked like he was going to be decent, and he hasn't been bad, but he only played 1 game last season, so we've just offloaded him. He was kind of no point in having there. We've apparently also set a record transfer fee for a Romanian player. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Bayern Munich are trying to sign Vinicius Jr. Great, this is going to be a fun season. I do think we could still make some transfers. We've got £23 million left still in the transfer kitty, but I'm not overly worried now about strengthening anywhere too much in the squad. I think we do keep the goalkeeper, so the only way we might want to potentially station is striker role, but we also have Pena, Renan and Lorenzo Luca, so I don't know how much that needs strengthening as well. I mean, if we have a look at the squad depth at the moment, and we just went minimum ability of 3 stars, that means we'd have Luka, Techahoa and Akahomak who could play up front. I would be surprised again to see Akahomak leave, because he's been wanting to be the starting player and Techahoa just far outplays him. Over this right hand side, I mean, we're never going to play Funk. I'm probably not going to play Kavarat, although we could, to be fair, if he's going to be second fiddle. And we've got Akahomak and Techahoa, so we're absolutely fine over there. We've obviously just brought in Badino over on this left hand side. We're fine there. In the centre of the park, we've got Traore, Neyhouse, you can play that, and Uenoy. Maybe we could add a little bit of depth to our central midfield spots. Defensive midfield, we've got Delport can play that, as can Mancini. We've got Freeman, and obviously we have got Diallo as well. He's not showing up there, but he is there. And then left back, we've got Valdez, Delport, Michaelenko, and obviously we just signed as well Francisco Castillo, who's obviously going to be there as well. We've got, going back to a 3-star minimum ability, central defenders, we've got Valdez, Delport, Mancini and Lacroix, who all fit in there. And then the right hand side, we've got Funk, Valdez and Freeman, as well as we've got Jaeger there as well. I mean, it's not actually showing up, which I'm a little bit surprised. We have got Schubert. Who, yeah, they want to play him over on the left, but we played him here. He has still got the potential to be quite decent. He's a Bundesliga standard player, so I think he's absolutely fine. And the other one I've just brought up to the main squad as well, because I think it's a useful rotation option, is Ernst Deckert, who has been obviously down in our B team, but looked quite decent. If we're looking at his report, he's not quite ready for the first team, but he is getting there, so he's a useful rotation option. And then in terms of our schedule, we've got 3 friendly matches before the League A starts. We've got the DFB Pokal first round, which is always our first game, and we've also got the Super Cup against Bayern Munich, which I hadn't really considered, but of course they won the DFB Pokal and they won the Bundesliga and we were second, and as that is the case, we get to face them in the Super Cup, which is a little bit, I'm guessing, like the German Community Shield. I will come back if we do more transfers. I think, though, that might be a bit it. We're more likely now to have outs than we are ins. Well, we're now into August and we're on the day that we'll be playing the Super Cup against Bayern Munich. There has been a couple more transfers out as I expected. The first one is Dino Courage. He's gone over to Villarreal for 16.75 million. We bought him in for 10 million. He's played 9 games for us. Not one of those was last season. And we've sold him at a £6.75 million profit, which I think is quite a good deal. We've also had a couple of players go out on loan. The other major out is Thierry Small. He's gone over to Newcastle, and Jose Mourinho for 11.25 million. It does mean we do make a loss on him, but we have brought in better left backs now, so I think we don't really need him anymore. And it's just useful to get his wages off of the club bills. Juice on that belt, exactly the same problem. We bought him in for 550,000. He's not a bad player, but he was on loan last season in Eredivisie, and now he's gone over to Dusseldorf for 2.5 million, having only ever made 2 sub appearances for us. We've made a nice profit on him. We have brought in one more signing, but we're not going to be seeing him for a little bit yet. Pep Ramos. He is currently at Espanyol. As we can see, we've been scouting him for a while because he's got a lot of potential, and when he is there, he performs quite well. We've paid £32 million for this guy and loaned him straight back to Espanyol for the rest of the season. I think he does have the potential to be very, very decent. He's got, again, a really good holy trinity here of good dribbling, finishing, and first touch, as well as some reasonable pace. So I think he could be one for the future. We've decided to buy him now. We're probably not going to use him this season, but I wanted to get hold of him because he was wanted by Real Madrid and Liverpool, which probably tells you how good he has the potential to be. It means that I think our squad for the season ahead looks a bit like this. So it's white in goal. The back four would be Castillo, Delport, Lacroix and Funk. We've then got Freeman, Traore and Uenoy in midfield. Badino over on the left, Techaho on the right and Luca up front. The only problem with that one is Johnny White is very, very unhappy at the moment, and that is because Bayern Munich did eventually come in with that bid. And as you can see, he's unhappy. We spoke to him. He wants to win the Champions League, which obviously I'd love to do that. That's kind of the point of this series. I don't think we're going to be able to do it this season, which is what he wanted. It hasn't brought up any promises, what I was just worried about. But we basically priced him out of the market and went, if you pay us £80 million, you can have him. They did come in with an offer for £22.5 million, which would have been quite good, but it would have meant we were making a loss, and I want him for the rest of the season. Whether he'll be here for much longer is a different question. Now, though, we've got to turn our focus to Bayern Munich and the Super Cup, which will be happening in the next episode. If you have enjoyed this one and you're excited to see if we can win our first bit of silverware with Hertha Berlin, then hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already enjoyed the channel. There's some cool content on it. We are now rushing towards 1,000 subscribers. We've got just over 200 left to go at time of recording. It would be very much appreciated if you haven't already and you've enjoyed the content, if you could subscribe, and hopefully we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of May. So far, the support has been fantastic. Until next time, though, guys, check out the video that's on the screen now. I'll see you over for the Super Cup on the next episode. Until then, see you later. Bye-bye.